Hi everyone, my name is Miss Clark and I am going to be working through a lesson with you guys today. On your screen you can see a picture of me. I wish I could be there in person with you guys, but hopefully I'll get to meet you all another day. I am a student at the University of Nevada. Go Wolfpack, that's our team. And when I'm not at school or teaching, I love to hang out with my new little puppy. We got her during quarantine to keep us on our toes. So that's my new little baby. Her name is Truly. All right. Today we are going to be doing an interactive read aloud focusing on key details. Some materials that you should have on your desk are a pencil and your sticky note worksheet. It has all those little squares on it. So when you have all that on your desk, give me a thumbs up. Let me see all the thumbs. Good job. All right. Today's learning objective is stated on the screen, and we're all going to read it together to make sure we all know what the learning objective is. So let's read it together. Are you ready? I can find key details within a book. Let's read it one more time to make sure we read it. I can find key details within a book. Nice job, thinkers. Key details are important parts of a story that relate to the main idea or what the book is about. Things that may be key details are characters, the setting, problems that the characters may face, and a whole lot of other things. But as long as it relates to the main idea, it's a key detail. Key details are kind of like supporting legs on a stool. So up here we see we have our main idea or what the book is about. And down here we have all of these supporting legs of the stool that are key details. Key details support the main idea. Now we're going to read together. This book is called Brave Girl, and it is about a girl who hosts a strike or encourages people to strike. Now, strike, that's an interesting word, huh? Strike means to stop going to work until some change happens at work. Let's take a moment to make an inference or think about what might happen in the book based off of the cover. I want all of you guys to look at the cover and make an inference. Now it's time to pause the video. All right, now that we're back and we've made inferences, we're going to read aloud together. Let's switch screens here. So I have read this book already, and I've placed sticky notes where I think key details are occurring. So as we read and you see a key detail, you're going to write it down on your sticky note worksheet like I wrote on these sticky notes. So let's begin reading. This is Brave Girl. A steamship pulls into the harbor carrying hundreds of immigrants and a surprise for New York City. I'm thinking that Clara, the main character, is an immigrant from another country. This means that Clara was born somewhere else but comes over to the United States later in her life. The surprise is dirt poor, just 5 feet tall, and hardly speaks a word of English. Her name is Clara Lemlich. This girl's got grit, and she's going to prove it. Look out, New York! Clara knows in her bones what is right and what is wrong. What's wrong begins a few weeks after the Lemlichs move into their tenement in America. A tenement is just another word for an apartment. No one will hire Clara's father. They will, however, hire Clara. That's right, Clara. Companies are hiring thousands of immigrant girls to make blouses or shirts, coats, nightgowns, and other women's clothing. They only earn a few dollars a month, but it helps pay for food and rent. So instead of carrying books to school, many girls carry sewing machines to work. Clara becomes a garment worker. When I read this, I thought that knowing that Clara does not earn very much money at her job, what I put on my sticky note, was a key detail because I know that most people go to work to earn money. I was wondering why Clara would stay at a job that doesn't pay her very much. I think that has a big part to do in the story. Now that you guys have seen me model how I use sticky notes to mark key details, it's your turn to mark your sticky notes with me. So we're gonna do a couple together. Let's do it. From dawn to dusk, she's locked up in a factory. Rows and rows of young women bend over their tables, stitching collars, sleeves, and cuffs as fast as they can. Hurry up, the bosses yell. Rat-a-tat-tat, hisses Clara's machine. The sunless room is stuffy from all the bodies crammed inside. There are 2 filthy toilets, 1 sink, and 3 towels for 300 girls to share. Clara learns the rules. You're a few minutes late, you'll lose half a day's pay. If you prick your finger and bleed on the cloth, you're fined. If it happens a second time, you're fired. The doors are locked and you're inspected every night before you leave to make sure you haven't stolen anything from the factory. Now that we've read this page, it's time to pause the video and think about what key details may be in that page and that needs to be noted on a sticky note. Pause the video. All right, now that we have written a key detail, or you guys have written a key detail on your own, I am going to make my sticky note in the book. So when I read this, it seemed like Clara worked in a place that didn't seem very nice or pleasant. It seems like she is under strict rules. So I wrote on my sticky note, Clara works in a place that doesn't seem nice. She is under strict rules. I'm going to put that sticky note on the page so when I refer back to it, I know where it came from. Let's keep reading. But Clara is uncrushable. She wants to read. She wants to learn. At the end of her shift, though her eyes hurt from straining in the gaslight and her back hurts from hunching over the sewing machine, she walks to the library. She fills her stomach with a single glass of milk and goes to school at night. When she gets home in the late evening, she sleeps only a few hours before rising again. Poor Clara. As the weeks grind by, Clara makes friends with the other factory girls. At lunch, they share stories and secrets as if they were in school, where they belong. Clara smolders with anger, not just for herself, but for all of the factory girls working like slaves. This is not the America she imagined. Everyone stop and think about what key detail may be included on that page. I want everyone to turn to a partner or a friend and talk about the key detail you talked about, then write it on a sticky note. Time to pause the video. All right, now that you guys are back and you guys have talked with a partner about your key detail, I'm going to put my key detail on the page. Since it said that Clara smolders with anger, I know that Clara is very angry with the conditions that she works in, or the rules and the environment that she works in, because it's not very pleasant. I think that's a key detail because it sounds like she needs to do something about where she's working. I think something's going to happen with that in the rest of the book. Let's put the sticky note on. All right, now that I've put the sticky note on there, we're going to keep reading. The men at the factory tell her that they've been trying to get the workers to team up a union. Then they'd strike, or remember, that means refuse to work, until the bosses treat them better. But the men don't think the ladies are tough enough. Not tough enough? Because they're girls? Oh, yes, they are. Clara knows it. She'll show them. From then on, at the sewing tables and on the street corner, Clara urges the girls to fight for their rights. When the seamstresses are overworked, she says, strike, When they are underpaid, she says, strike. When they're punished for speaking up, she cries, strike. And the girls do. Now I want you guys to turn to a partner, talk with a friend, and think of a key detail that could come from this page. Remember to look at the picture, then write down your key detail on your sticky note page. Time to pause. All right, now that we've written another key detail, I'm going to write my key detail. It looks from the picture that Clara and her friends at work strike for better working conditions. Remember, strike means to stop working until something happens or changes in the work environment. All right, I'm going to add this sticky note. Let's make it a little bigger so everyone can see it. All right, we're going to keep reading. Each time Clara leads a walkout, the bosses fire her. Each time she pickets, her life is in danger. The bosses hire men to beat her and other strikers. The police arrest her 17 times. They break 6 of her ribs, but they can't break her spirit. It's shatterproof. Clara hides her bruises from her parents. A few days later, she's on the picket line again. And the other girls think, if she can do it, we can do it too. For weeks, the small strikes go on, but the bosses find other young women to do the work for the same low pay and long hours. We must do something bigger, thinks Clara and other union leaders. Something huge, a giant strike at every garment factory in the city. The union holds a meeting. Throngs of workers pack the seats, the aisles, the walls. The hall thrums with excitement. Clara listens to speech after speech. The speakers, mostly men, want everyone to be careful. 2 hours pass. No one recommends a general strike. Finally, the most powerful union leader in the country goes up to the podium. Not even he proposes action, so Clara does. Interesting. Let's keep reading. That's right, Clara. She calls out from the front of the hall. The crowd lifts her to the stage where she shouts in Yiddish. I have no further patience for talk. I move that we go on a general strike. She starts the largest walkout of women workers in U.S. history. Take time to talk to a partner or a friend about some key details about the main idea of the story that could be included in these pages. Once you have talked with a partner, make sure you write them in on a sticky note on your sticky note sheet so we can refer back to them later. Time to pause. All right, now that we're back, we've talked to a friend about some key details and written them on our sticky note sheet. I'm going to write what I thought was a key detail on this page. The first one is I know that Clara told a big group of people to strike for better working conditions. Since there's more information on this page, I want to put another sticky note because I think it's also a key detail. Since it said that Clara started the largest walkout of women in work, well, let me restart. And since the story stated that Clara started the largest walkout of women workers in U.S. history, I think that it's a key detail to know that Clara leads the biggest strike involving girls in history. That seems important. I want to remember that. Let's put the sticky note over here. Let's put another one on this page. All right, let's keep reading. The next morning, New York City is stunned by the sight of thousands of young women streaming from factories. One newspaper calls it an army, other calls it a revolt. It's a revolt of young girls fighting for their working conditions at their work. In the coming weeks, Clara is called a hero. She lights up the halls with her fiery pep talks. Her singing lifts the spirits of all garment workers. Turn to a partner or a friend and think about a key detail that supports the main idea of the story so far. Make sure you write it on your sticky note sheet when you're done so we can refer back to them later. Time to pause. All right, now that we've written another key detail, I'm going to write what I thought was a key detail on this page. I remember that the author said that Clara was called a hero. I think that this is important to remember and might have something to do with the main idea of the story. So I'm going to put it on a sticky note so I can remember. All right, let's keep reading. And they do all winter long in the bitter cold in their cheap thin coats. Tired and starving and scared, the girls walk alongside the men on the icy sidewalks of the picket line. They spill out of the union halls, blocking roads, filling street corners and public squares. Newspapers write stories about them. College girls raise money for them. Rich women, swathed in fur coats, picket with the factory girls. By the time the strike is over, hundreds of bosses agree to let their staff form unions. They shorten the work week and raise salaries. The strike emboldens thousands of women to walk out of garment factories in Philadelphia and Chicago. This means that Clara influenced other garment workers to fight for their working conditions. Turn to a friend or a partner and think of one key detail that might be included on this page. Once you have thought about it, make sure you write it down on your sticky note sheet so you can refer back to them later. Time to pause. All right, now that you guys are back and you've written your key detail, I'm going to write a key detail that I thought was included on this page. I remember in the beginning of the story, it said that Clara didn't make much money. But on this page, it says after the strike, Clara's job paid her more and made the working conditions better. I think that's important to remember and might be a part of the main idea. Let's put it on a sticky note. All right, make it bigger so everyone can see it. Let's keep reading. And the strike convinces Clara to keep fighting for the rights of workers. Her throat is hoarse, her feet are sore, but she has helped thousands of people, proving that in America, wrongs can be righted, warriors can wear skirts and blouses, and the bravest hearts may beat in girls only 5 feet tall. Yay! That is such a great book. I love it. Now that we have finished reading, I want everyone to turn to a friend and talk about some key details they wrote on their sticky note sheet. Once you have done so, put a thumb in the air so Miss Feller knows to play the video. Time to pause. All right, now that you guys are back and we've talked about our key details and read the book aloud, we are going to talk about how they relate to the main idea. I have given you guys the main idea of Brave Girl, and that is that Clara took a stand against bad working conditions all factory workers had. Let's read that one more time. The main idea of Brave Girl is that Clara took a stand against bad working conditions all factory workers had. Thinking of that and having that in mind, I want you guys to choose 2 key details you wrote down on your sheet that connect to this. Once you have done so, put a thumb in the air. All right, and if we need some more time, we can always pause the video. Now that you guys have done that, I want you to put a mark or a circle or a star next to those on your sticky note sheet so you can remember them. All right. Now that we have finished our interactive read aloud and talked about some key details that support the main idea, you guys can work through these questions or your worksheet on your worksheet so you guys can kind of wrap up some ideas and Miss Feller can turn off the video. Thank you guys so much for learning with me. I had so much fun and I'm so excited to hopefully meet you guys one day. Thanks for watching.